Hoi! It was only the other day that Deadlock had a hotfix for the soul duplication strategy for the double souls farm that I already talked about in that video, and now it's being fixed again, but in a different way. Along with that, we have some other fixes, so let's talk about it. Instead of the previous 4 minions per wave cap, we now have a soul duplication hotfix with new behavior. Pre 10 minutes, lane now always split orbs when there are more heroes than the assigned participants in that lane. So if you have 3 or more people in a dual lane or 2 or more people in a solo lane. Previously it only split with 3 or more people regardless of the lane, which is what allowed soul abusers when dipping into a solo lane, because that was not 3 or more people. This is obviously a solution that is still in testing, just like the last one, but I don't think it's ideal because it comes with some new problems. The first one is that since every soul in a lane is split now, if there's more than the assigned number of players in that lane, any gank could result in stealing souls from a lane that's already somewhat behind. So if you're trying to rotate to someone who's maybe struggling in the lane, you're trying to help them by ganking that lane, then if your gank is not successful, every second you spend in that lane will take away souls from the player that is in that lane normally, so again, putting them more behind. Of course, there is the argument that this may be just how it's intended to be and that other games handle this the same way, but I did like the previous iteration in that regard where a gank wasn't punishing for the other player in that lane if it didn't go well. The other problem that it comes with is something that I think has more impact, which is that it makes the lanes more rigid, because now whatever lane is predetermined is the lane that needs to be played as duo or as solo, whereas beforehand you could have just switched around and said, okay, but we want to put 2 people on this lane because that's our strategy, we're trying to achieve something with that, and maybe have a 2v1 lane and a 1v2 lane, or force the enemy to switch into the other lane as well, or whatever it is. But either way, there was a lot of flexibility in that regard that is just no longer there under this new system. If you now put a duo team in a solo lane that was randomly assigned by the game, then you will automatically be losing souls. As such, I could absolutely see more adjustments to this coming in the future. Private lobbies can now assign players to duo and solo lanes, which I guess also goes somewhat in line with the first change, so that you can have certain predetermined settings if you want to make competitive custom matches. They fixed some recent bugs with Vindicta Flight that could cause some large bursts in a direction. They also fixed being able to shoot while using Ethereal Shift and flying with Vindicta. Veil Walker is an item that is getting more and more attention because while it is very conditional with you having to walk through a cosmic veil to activate it, it grants you a massive amount of benefits between refilling your shields, giving you invisibility, giving you movement speed, and giving you fire rate. It's now seeing a minor nerf with the fire rate bonus being reduced from 30% to 20%, but it will undoubtedly still be a relatively strong item in situations where you're able to activate the passive. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, consider subscribing and clicking the bell. Thanks for watching, and thanks to my patrons for supporting this video. Sloth, out.